freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Everybody, welcome to Gun Freedom Radio. We are coming to you from the floor of the Goals Event 2025 from Gun Owners of America, GOA. This is the second year they put this on. I am your host, Cheryl Todd, and I am super excited to be sitting here with my good friend, Dan Wos.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for swinging by and spending some time in the booth. Now, Dan is the author of the Good Gun, Bad Guy book series. I have a little sticker right here to show you his snappy logo. And is there 3 of them now?
3 book series, and working on number 4. But I've been busy with some stuff, so 4's taking a little while. But, yeah.
Busy with some stuff, like you are the host of The Loaded Mic.
Yes, the Loaded Mic Show. We're having such a blast with the Loaded Mic. It's primarily Second Amendment stuff, but we get into topics of the day, and it's just my co-host John Chiera, Anthony Diso. They are an absolute riot. We just have a great time. So that's loadedmic.com if people are interested.
Awesome. And then you are also the host of Bullet Points. Now, this is something kind of new. Tell us about that.
Well, the Gun Owners Foundation arm of GOA asked me to do a series called Bullet Points. Bullet Points with Dan Wos. And what we do is we talk about gun-related issues. Every week there's a new episode. It's on, and you can find it on YouTube. Like recently, the most recent one, we're talking about New York City and the whole New York City attack, the massacre due to the state's horrible gun laws, putting everyone in danger because they can't defend themselves.
Right.
But there's a whole video on that, and then every week we do a video for Bullet Points.
And how do people find that?
Go to YouTube, search Gun Owners Foundation.
Yeah, very cool. And with the books, I don't know that we mentioned how they buy these books.
GoodGunBadGuy.com. It's a 3-book series, and you got to check it out. It's got great reviews, and Ted Nugent actually endorsed book number 2.
Well, that's
very
pretty
proud
dang
of that.
cool right there. My goodness. So, we were talking about the New York City massacre, really.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what happened? Guy somehow is walking around in New York City, which they have basically said is a full-time gun-free zone, wall-to-wall. I don't know how they get away with that. But walking around with a long gun, right, with a rifle. And nobody else can defend themselves because the people that are following the laws that aren't murderers are disarmed, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
It's so ridiculous that the whole world doesn't understand, doesn't see it. What happened here is New York State has a thing called the New York SAFE Act, and it's this ban on so-called assault weapons, right? So they've neutered the AR-15, basically. So you can't have an AR-15 or semi-automatic rifle, and you can't. And then Kathy Hochul creates the Concealed Carry Improvement Act, which included sensitive location. So every place you go is off limits.
Sensitive location.
Unless the business posts a sign that says guns are allowed. And how many businesses are going to do that?
I mean, I probably would, but
well,
you know what
we
I mean?
would. But the thing is, a lot of businesses, like especially in New York City, would never do that because they don't want the angry backlash and vandalism from the political left.
Right. That's true.
So they just don't do it. So there's also a magazine capacity restriction in New York State.
Okay.
And then there's a pistol permit, a carry permit that you need in New York State. New York State doesn't accept any other state's licenses. Mm-hmm. So this guy from He was from Nevada.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So he broke every one of those rules.
Yes.
So
yes.
he broke the semi-automatic rule.
Yep.
He broke the magazine capacity rule. He broke the non-carry, sensitive location. He broke the bringing a gun into New York State. So the point is, none of these gun laws do anything to stop the bad guys. However, all the good people were rendered unarmed and helpless. Exactly. So you saw this picture of these grown men barricading their office with couches. It was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life.
So sad.
Because they were unarmed,
that's all they had,
defenseless and helpless.
Oh, and they voted for that probably.
They keep voting for it. It's unbelievable to me.
That's the thing that blows my mind. It's like, please, government, treat me like a child who can't make my own decisions.
Right.
It really flies in the face of how I was raised and how I believe. And then when you see results like this, it makes you wonder, are they then therefore going to say, well, you know what, if we would have had just one more law.
Okay.
Right?
Don't even get me started, because you know what Kathy Hochul said after this.
Here it comes.
So it's obvious that what happened was the bad guy paid no attention to any of the New York State gun laws. The good people did, and they end up getting killed.
Yes.
And then she has the nerve, I guess, to say, well, because there's no more gun laws that she can implement. She just can't implement anything else. It's all there, right?
They'll dream one up.
So she says, well, this is because other states have weak gun laws.
Here we go.
So she's blaming other states where the crime didn't occur.
Right. Right. It would be funny, but it's so tragic and it's so sad, and it truly is putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
And here's one of the kickers for me, is that when you think that this happened in New York City, which is in New York State, right? And didn't we just have a Supreme Court decision not too long ago called Bruin versus New York State Rifle and Pistol Association, in which the Supreme Court said that all these laws that don't comport with the history, the text, and the tradition of the time that the Bill of Rights was ratified, which was 1791, if any of these laws don't line up with whatever was happening at that time in 1791, they are null and void.
Yeah.
And yet, in New York, they were like, hold my beer or something, let me just go the other direction and triple down on all the things that even the Supreme Court said, this is not okay.
Exactly, you're right. You're exactly right. What happened with that was the Bruin decision said New York State's gun laws are unconstitutional and basically did away with it. But Kathy Hochul, the originally appointed governor, she was 8 days after the Bruin decision came down, she had the Concealed Carry Improvement Act implemented, which was all the same stuff. Rather than getting into all the details of it, it was all basically the same stuff with different names and labels. Mm-hmm. And she had it implemented 8 days after the decision. So this tells us that she knew she was going to get defeated, and her Democrat legislature put it together, and they were ready and waiting. So what happened was the Bruin case took from 2015 to 2022. It was 7 years, I think, it took for that case to make its way through the courts. She brought in the CCIA, and she said, well, we're going to start over again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so doesn't it seem ironic, though, that it was in that exact state that started the whole conversation, that brought us Bruin? And then here we have, not even 2 years later or something, a guy actually brazenly
he's walking
around
through the city with his rifle in plain sight, and he made it up to like the 33rd floor of the building.
Like, where are the police? Have they defunded them all? Probably, right? Where are the good guys with the guns that you and I would have been, we're trained, we're prepared, right?
Right.
And we would probably just our presence, because in the state of Arizona, where we have constitutional carry, thank you to the AZCDL, which I am the vice president of, but just throw a little plug out there. Thanks to the work of groups like that, we have constitutional carry, which means we don't need anybody's permission. Not a governor, not a sheriff, not a trainer, not a government official, to keep and walk around with our firearms. And I would stack up, how safe I feel in my state versus New York City any day.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah, well, I know. Our founding fathers didn't want it to be like this. They thought that it was pretty clear the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. They didn't write the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed as long as all the Democrats involved approve.
Yeah. There's no asterisks there.
Right.
But it seems like it is self-evident to me. It seems like the people of New York would be able to look at all of this and go, well, all those laws that we've been so in favor of, they aren't keeping us safe. But what could keep us safe? Oh, if we actually had access, and I don't know how they're ever going to make that jump. If we had access to the tools of self-defense and the training of self-defense without all the fees and without all the hoops you got to jump through, I just don't know how we get them there, because their mindset seems to just be, all right, well, those laws aren't working, but if we can come up with another one, that'll be the kicker. Any insight? Because you live in that area.
I think you have to first understand that they're not stupid. They do know what they're doing.
Okay.
They're not trying to keep people safe.
Yeah.
We're beyond that. We're way beyond that.
The citizens themselves who keep voting for this stuff. What do we do about that?
It's so frustrating, because they keep implementing this stuff not because they want to keep people safe, but the people who vote for it think that these gun laws are going to keep people safe. See, that's the problem. You have this whole brainwashing portion of this fear campaign that's happening.
Yes.
And those are the people who are voting for it.
Yes.
But the people, the legislators, they understand. They're not keeping people safe. What they're doing is they're disarming the good people, which is really what they want.
That's so awful.
So you ask, what can we do?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. If we can get underneath that brainwashing, underneath that mind melting that's being done to these people, and we can help these people understand that really what's happening to them is they're being confused.
Yeah.
They're given false data.
Yes.
They're given a whole lot of rhetoric, all the terminology, gun violence, assault weapon, all that nonsense that scares them because they don't know any better. Mm-hmm. That they are being manipulated into voting for more of this. So you see this massacre that happens in New York City because the people weren't armed, and then they say, well, we need more gun laws, and the voters, the Democrat voters, are saying, well, yeah, that makes sense. Because they don't understand.
Well, let's take one more topic before I have to let you go. But so people out there in this sphere, they might be pretty well educated on what the letters N, F, and A stand for, what it means, why it's such a big topic. But can you maybe break it down for the few people that maybe are like, I don't know, I keep hearing this, but I don't really understand why it's a deal.
Well, the NFA was the National Firearms Act, and it was signed into law in 1934. And what it did was it did two things. It created a gun registry for machine guns, for short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, and suppressors and things like that. So people would have to register those firearms, which it's unconstitutional.
Absolutely.
So now they have a gun registry. They know what guns you have, and they know the address of your home where they can be found when they decide to come and get them.
They've done that in other countries, haven't they?
Yeah.
How does that usually end up?
Yeah.
Well,
it ends up in like Venezuela when they end up throwing rocks to defend themselves.
Exactly.
So, but that wasn't the only thing. Another part of the NFA was the $200 tax. So you had to pay this fee, which is unconstitutional.
Yes.
And there's been many court cases that have proven it's unconstitutional because what they do is they call it a chilling effect. It chills people from exercising their they're right.
Yes.
Because it's a fee that, and back in 1934, $200 was a lot of money.
Yes, it was.
So they create a chilling effect, and then they create a gun registry, and that's their way of shutting it down. So recently, because of Trump's big beautiful bill, the $200 tax has been eliminated. Gun Owners of America has gone in, and there's a lawsuit now to get the registry, to get rid of the registry for short barrel shotguns, short barrel rifles, and suppressors. So we're hoping that we can make some headway on that.
Absolutely, because the fact that it's a tax, that's what allowed us to put it into the big beautiful bill, right, and attack it in that way. Zeroing it out is one step.
Yeah.
But the fear now is that, well, if one president can come in there and, make it zero, the next president can do exactly what Chris Murphy, I believe it is, in Connecticut. He wants to make it like $4,000 some dollars.
$4,709.
But who's counting, right? To adjust for inflation. And so that's why there's so many people in this industry and on this side saying, look, we've neutered it, but you've left it there. It can still get rabies, right? So let's just do away with it. Yeah. And we're hoping that with the pressure from Gun Owners of America and other groups, I believe that's part of the, what do they call it? The big, beautiful lawsuit?
Big, beautiful lawsuit. I love that.
Me too. And I also love that GOA, they are no compromise. They, just because Trump is an ally in a lot of ways, right? And Kash Patel is an ally in a lot of ways, and Pam Bondi's an ally in a lot of ways. They don't say, well, we've got to leave our hands off of them. They say, no, we hired you for a job with our votes. The job, we demand these certain things, and we're going to hold you to it. So I love that they're still pushing back, even though it's like, well, they're our ally or our guys, right? And I don't know that we've seen that before.
No, not in my lifetime, not that I remember. This is really cool. It was really great to see Pam Bondi. Now, how much have they followed up with it? I don't know. And President Trump has had his failures in the past with respect to supporting the Second Amendment, and
as did Pam Bondi.
This is another thing. The Democrats will say that we just follow Trump and just go along with whatever. No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We hold them accountable.
Matter of fact.
Yeah. Nobody liked that. Take the guns and then ask questions later. No.
Yeah.
That's a no. So, but the reality is they are doing some stuff that has never really been done before, and we appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we do. And I also appreciate the people that are still holding that no compromise line. So I think we're in a great season. I think there's a lot of cultural shift happening. I'm hoping that along with that, we are educating people and helping them understand why we take such a strong stand on the things that we do. It's grounded in the actual foundation of the forming of our nation, and it's too important to let go. All right, as we wrap up, tell folks again, how do they follow all of the multiple things that you do?
One website will take you everywhere you need to be, and it's goodgunbadguy.com.
There it is. How simple is that? I love it. He also writes in AmmoLand, right? Are there other?
I write for AmmoLand. I write for News 2A. Those guys are here this weekend. I have to introduce you to them. Oh, that's right. Yes. You know those guys. Okay. And so among others, I've written for others too.
You're a busy dude. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you.
Thank you for everything you do. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. You as well. All right, stick around. We got a lot more coming at you from Goals 2025 in Knoxville, Tennessee.